Hey, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and this is my Week 3 battle for the UBL, the Ultimate Battle League. We're going up against Dan, aka A-Drive, and if you did miss my team builder, I do recommend you guys go check it out. I'll go over my team in just a moment, but I did want to apologize for this game being up kind of late, like 5 days late. Basically the reasoning is Dan and I didn't play until Saturday morning, which was the day of the upload. And then I didn't have any time to do any editing or anything because I was going on vacation immediately afterwards. So I got back on Monday, and I tried to record the match myself, but I had some trouble getting Citra back up and running on my 3DS. The recent firmware update prevented me from doing that. I did figure out how to get my team gen finally, so that was good. So anyway, after I gave up on that, I reached out to the folks in the UBL coach chat and was able to get some help from IrishEmerald for recording my game. So big shout outs to him. And of course, now as I sit down to record this, like on Wednesday night now, I'm actually kind of sick. I've been sick for like the last 2 days and just have not felt at 100%. My bandwidth for critical thinking is pretty low, but I'm determined to get this battle up for you guys. If I can play Leo on time, or if I can play him, in the next 48 hours, I should be able to get this battle up on Thursday, get the team builder for Leo up on Friday, and then get the battle for Leo up on Saturday. So a lot of stuff for you guys to be looking forward to the next couple of days. So with that, now let's talk about the team that I brought if you did miss my team builder. So I do have a Focus Sash SD Sneasel. I have a Double Stab Lopunny with Fake Out and Baton Pass. I have a Quiver Dance Poisonium Z Sleep Powder Venomoth. I have a SD Necrozma, I have a T-Wave Roost Togekiss, and I have a South Rock Sugarberry Heatran. Goodness, SD Heatran, that would be some fire. Dan has elected to bring Donphan, Altaria, Jirachi, Rotom, Manaphy, and Acelgor. So, a lot of the mons I definitely expected. The three that I expected the most for him to bring were Altaria, Rotom, and Manaphy. Altaria makes sense as a physically defensive check for Lopunny. Rotom is a good specially defensive check for Togekiss, for Heliolisk, and Heatran. And Manaphy, it could potentially be a scary sweeper. I'm actually inclined to think that with the team that he's brought, it is a physically defensive set to deal with Sneasel. Because if you look at my team and look at my Sneasel and then look at his team, he doesn't exactly deal with it. If I have a Brox and I have an SD up. So, Manaphy, I think, could potentially be physically defensive. I'm not expecting Z-Rain Dance, because I do have a Heliolisk, which could pretty obviously be Scarfed, but anything could happen. So in terms of lead matchup, I really wanted to lead Necrozma, because Necrozma sets up an SD pretty freely on most of his team. But the problem with that, even though it does apply offensive pressure early, if he wants to lead with something like a Acelgor, Acelgor can easily get up 2 layers of spikes versus my Necrozma set. Whereas if I lead with Sneasel, I have the ability to still set up and apply offensive pressure to a lot of his team. If he doesn't lead Acelgor, and if he does lead Acelgor, I can go for knockoff into Ice Shard and only allow 1 layer of spikes up. And if he does choose to go for the Bug Buzz instead of the spikes, my Focus Sash will allow me to live, and I can still go for knockoff into Ice Shard, and it should kill, depending upon the exact spread. So that's going to be my plan. Lead with Sneasel, and either prevent a lot of spikes from going up, or just apply some early pressure. So with that, let's go ahead and click play. Wish good luck, have fun to Dan. And I've already tried this. This is my second time recording this battle. I've been stumbling over my words a little bit because, like I said, I'm not at 100%. But I hope you guys enjoy this battle all the same. You've probably already seen it on Dan's side, but hopefully if you have, I can still give you some insight into my thought process. So he leads with his Reese's, which is a really awesome nickname for a Donphan, for a shiny Donphan. And I'm going to lead with my Sneasel. And so I'm actually pretty happy with this situation here. Like, half the reason as well that I led with Sneasel is because if you wanted to get up Brock's early game with either Donphan or Jirachi, Sneasel should in theory threaten both of those mons out. Dan does choose to prioritize his Stealth Rocks though, which, like, from his shoes I understand. Like, Donphan, given that I did not bring the Heliolisk and I didn't bring some of my other mons, his Donphan isn't super important here. and he doesn't really have anything to deal with this Sneasel anyway, so like him, trying to get up rocks as soon as possible, definitely kind of makes sense. I'm going to go for a knockoff and into Ice Shard. Knockoff, it shows that this Donphan is physically defensive. It should live most Ice Shards from the range that it's at, but I do score a crit, which means that this Donphan is going to go down. So, in the grand scheme of things, like it is kind of important actually, because I can go for a big knockoff here on this Rotom, and I can hit it for, like, as you can see, like 85% damage. And so this Rotom is sort of useless for him. He basically had to trade 2 Pokemon in order to kill my Sneasel, whereas the Donphan, could have potentially killed it, and he wouldn't have had to trade any Pokemon. He just has to give up, most of his HP on Donphan, which, as we said, isn't super duper important. So anyway, the Altaria comes in here, and so I figured this is a good chance to go into my Venomoth, because I do obviously threaten it with the Sludge Bomb. I get a little over anxious here. I do expect the Jirachi to come in, and so because of that, I do want to go for the Sleep Powder. But what I should have done is I should have Quiver Danced first and then gone for Sleep Powder. Because unless it's a Scarf Jirachi, I'm going to be able to outspeed even a max speed Jirachi after I get up my Quiver Dance boost. And then I don't have to waste my Sleep Powder. Dan did a really good job of scouting for the Sleep Powder with his Rotom, which is already kind of worthless to him. And then he can double into his Jirachi as I go for the Quiver Dance. So nice play on his part. Definitely a nice play on his part. So I am going to go for the Bug Buzz. I could switch out here, but if he does have something like Thunder Wave, there's not really anything that I can switch in here that's going to want to take it. And if he is Scarf, and he wants to go for Zen Headbutt or Heart Stamp or something like that, he'll probably end up killing my Venomoth, but then I can pretty easily go into my Heatran and get up rocks. So I figured it was worth just trying to figure out if he's Scarf or not. After he does paralyze me, I do go for another Quiver Dance. I guess I should have gone for another Bug Buzz, but I figured, if he doesn't force me to be paralyzed or force me to be flinched, I can get up and then have a second chance to land a hit, but this hit would be a little bit more powered up than the first hit. But it doesn't really matter because I do get fully paralyzed on the second turn. It's like a 60% chance to get paralyzed versus a Jirachi, so, it is what it is. I'm not too upset about it. He's able to have his Jirachi in here at a pretty good amount of HP. And so because I don't have anything like Sneasel still that can immediately threaten this, and I don't have any other way to one-shot it, I go into my Heatran because I can easily threaten it with the Lava Plume. And my Heatran is fairly speedy. This seems to be a fairly bulky Jirachi. So there's even a chance that I outspeed. Like, if he wants to stay in and go for the Thunder Wave, I might just kill it in one hit with the Lava Plume. But he goes into his Altaria, which is kind of odd, I guess. Like, I'm thinking because my Heatran's meant to beat this Altaria. I am Shukaberry. And kind of unfortunately for him, the Lava Plume crit definitely guarantees that Flash Cannon will kill a max HP Altaria, which is what I'm expecting. He does go for the Flash Cannon here. Sorry, the Earthquake here as I go for the Flash Cannon. Like I said, this is almost guaranteed to knock out a max HP Altaria. And we're going to be able to eliminate his Altaria, one of his biggest threats. And so, as I knock this Pokemon out here, I'm realizing that this could potentially get into a sticky situation very quickly. He does go into his Manaphy. And I think to myself, okay, well, he can obviously Tail Glow here. But, this could potentially take out a few of my Mons. But I can go for Toxic. And, let him take out my Heatran. Like, he'll take 6% damage this turn, and then 12% damage next turn. I'll go for Fake Out with Lopunny. I'll sack something else, and I'll bring a Lopunny back in, and I can Fake Out plus Return to knock it out. And then Dan busts out the Z move, and for a second, I'm like, oh, I guess maybe he thought I'd be switching out, and that's why he's going to go for the Hydro Vortex. But of course, stupid me, didn't put together that he was going to be a Zine Rain Dance. Because like I said, I didn't really expect it, given how obvious the Scarf Heliolisk was. But I guess that's on me. I should have brought the Scarf Heliolisk over the Togekiss. I brought the Togekiss, as I explained in my team builder, because I was really scared about Mons like Scrafty, like a Bulk Up or Dragon Dance Scrafty. Selgor could have been potentially annoying, and things like that. But because he is Z-Rain, not only does he get the speed boost, he does not take any more toxic damage, so I can't go with my original plan of just faking out and whittling him down with fake out and toxic damage. And yeah, I don't have anything on my team that can survive a +3 Surf. The only chance that I have somehow is if, and this is not to win the game, this is just to not lose to Manaphy, right here, is basically stall out rain turns until I can get my Togekiss in. Togekiss after rocks can survive a +3 Surf. It's assuming he doesn't have Ice Beam somehow. If he doesn't have Ice Beam, we can survive that, and then we can Thunder Wave the Manaphy, and we can Thunder Wave Air Slash it to death. Of course, immediately after that, he'll be able to go into his Rotom, or not his Rotom, his Jirachi, and be able to Thunder Wave Iron Head me until I die. Unless somehow he missed the Thunder Wave, and then I land my Thunder Wave, and then I flinch him to death with my own Air Slash Thunder Wave shenanigans. But yeah, you're going to see here in a little bit, like, I just have to basically let all my mons go down. We'll get another Fake Off here. It does maybe 20% at best, and the rain does stop. So like I said, I just need to let my Lopunny go down, go into my Togekiss, and hope that I can somehow bring this to a 3-0 instead of a 4-0. Because, yeah, I can't beat Jirachi. Rotom at least is asleep, so it's basically dead. I should be able to two-shot it. And then I don't remember his last mon's a Selgor. You know, if it's packing like a Sludge Bomb coverage, it would be able to pretty easily beat me. But yeah, anyway, here, Moment of Truth, he definitely has the Ice Beam. There's no reason for him to have anything different. Because like it hits most of my team well enough. It doesn't hit Quagsire, Unaware Quagsire, super hard. But it could probably deal with it. And then yeah, it doesn't really hit Heliolisk super hard, and it definitely doesn't deal with Scarf Heliolisk. But for him, like, it makes sense. It was a pretty much an automatic win condition unless I had the Scarf Heliolisk, and I didn't. I bet on him having other sets on his team, and I bet wrong. So, we're in each other's heads a little bit. Like, I'm expecting him to expect my Scarf Heliolisk, and it didn't end up paying off for me. But otherwise, Dan played a really solid game. He played around by Venomoth extremely well. He got on the unfortunate end of a little bit of hacks, but that didn't stop him from catching a 4-0 victory, handing us, of course, a 4-0 loss. So that's going to drop us to 2-1 for the season in the UBL. So our undefeated streak is unfortunately over. I'm not even sure if there's any other undefeated teams left. There might be. I think Root might be undefeated. I should check that real quick and let you guys know. But yeah, it was a big week for, not for upsets, but a lot of teams lost. Leo lost. Styx lost. So yeah, there's really not many things going on here. I guess the other undefeated teams are Automatic and Uzi. Those are the only two teams that are undefeated. Otherwise, we did see some losses coming out from Root, myself, Styx, like I said, and also Leo. So yeah, lots of parity in the league this season. But by that I mean it's competitive, right? There's a lot of teams that are kind of crunched in the middle that are all really competitive. So it's pretty nice. It's good to have a lot of competitive battlers in the league. It makes it fun. So we are going to try and bounce back in our week 4. Like I said, we're going up against Leo. I may have mentioned that. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't think it was in the previous recording that I mentioned it. We're gonna do our best to win. He and I talked. We're both trying to win because we both did catch L's this week, like I said. We're also, anticipating that we both have a good shot at making playoffs in our divisions. And so, in our division, the Emma Stone division. So we don't want to fully show our hands, right? Because if we have to rematch, we don't want to have to show our best sets. So we're gonna hope to win. But it's not going to be a disaster if we lose. It's just, we don't want to get 4-0 swept again like we did this week. Because differential is, of course, important in this league. Like it is in every league. Just ask Deebs. Deebs sneaked ahead of me because I didn't have enough differential in the MPL. He did beat me head-to-head, so it's only fair. But anyway, I digress. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and leave a sub. Make sure you tune in for this weekend's action versus Leo, like I said. And make sure you check back to the channel for other great Pokemon and gaming content. So, until the next time, I'll see you guys later.